Hello and welcome everyone. What was being anticipated from so many days has finally happened over this weekend. The United States has been carrying out airstrikes on targets inside Iran, and tensions across the Middle East are continuing to rise. Iran has responded with numerous airstrikes on US military bases across the Middle East, such as Bahrain, Qatar, and Saudi Arabia. And to discuss this further, joining me from Paris is the American-Iranian journalist Borzou Daragahi to talk us through the latest developments and what they really mean. My first question to you is going to be very simple, Borzou. How close are we now to a wider war between the United States and Iran?
Well, I think you have to include Israel in that equation as well. The attack started with Israel against Iran, with the U.S. Backing up Israel. I think that we're already in a wider war. It's not that we're close to one. The conflict has escalated so quickly. We already have video footage of plumes of smoke rising from everywhere, from northern Israel to Iran to the Gulf cities. So I think that this has escalated very quickly, and it's already a kind of regional war. The question is, will for example, Gulf states participate in the war against Iran now that their territory has come under attack vis-a-vis the attacks on the U.S. bases in their countries? And then the question then becomes, will Iran's main kind of patrons in Russia and China also participate, and that is a potential escalation as well.
And what sort of continuous response should we expect from Iran and the United States over the course of next few days?
Well, like I said, it's not just the United States. Israel is the one that was pushing for this war, and Israel is also being targeted by Iran. It was the first target by Iran at this point. So you're going to see more escalation. The U.S. officials say that this war will take days at least and not hours. So you're going to see more rounds of escalation. There have already been reports of civilian casualties. There is some horrific footage of a school in southern Iran that was hit by either an Israeli or U.S. airstrike or possibly an errant Iranian missile. We're not confirmed what has happened there. What we know is that a lot of people were killed and injured, including children.
Yes, Bob. So we also at South Era Network have been are flooded with so many videos, but at South Era Network, we just want to verify videos before putting them out, abiding by journalistic integrity and responsibility. Now, I'll come back to you for your quick final comments on the regional tension, but how worried should the rest of the world be about this escalating further?
Well, I think the world is very worried. There is going to be a huge spike Monday morning. Oil markets will open. There will be a huge spike in prices. There are threats by the Houthis to close the Bab el-Mandeb. That is the kind of the strait that connects the Red Sea to the rest of the world. That will put a hamper on oil revenues and oil sales worldwide. There's also a threat by Iran to close the Strait of Hormuz. That will also impact global prices.
So global prices is one concern. Borzou, I do like to take your comments on also what today happened in Abu Dhabi, in the United Arab Emirates, where the debris of a missile that was intercepted by the UAE authorities did end up killing one person of Asian nationality. In that sense, with a casualty happening in the UAE, how do you see further? Just walk us through how serious is that, and what can we expect as a retaliation to that?
I don't know if the UAE will retaliate. I'm not sure. The Gulf states have reserved their right to retaliate. I think that's the language that they're using. But they were against this conflict as well. They were opposed to it not just publicly but privately as well. And so I don't know if it's to their advantage for those Gulf states to participate kinetically in the war against Iran. The U.S. will go back to its shores once this conflict is over. Iran and those Gulf states will be neighbors in perpetuity.
I would like to take this opportunity to also read out this statement, Borzou, which has been released by the Ministry of Defense of the United Arab Emirates. And the ministry says, and I'm quoting directly from the statement, that we intercepted missiles that were launched by Iran today. The ministry stressed that the targeting constitutes a blatant violation of national and international law, affirming the UAE's full right to take all necessary measures to protect its territory and people and to safeguard its security and stability. Do you see that language as sort of a hint to what we can expect over the next few days if this continues?
No, as I said, that they will, as that statement said, and I had read it before it as well, they reserve their right to defend themselves. But that doesn't mean that it's not exactly a declaration of war. I think they're going to assess whether this is going to be just like, what happened with Qatar last summer. They're going to assess whether it's in their interest, whether it's in the UAE's interest, Bahrain's interest, Saudi Arabia's interest to respond to Iran, or to just let this play out and see how it will end, and then try to pick up the pieces afterward.
Of course, this is happening also along with what's happening not very far away from Iran, that is in Afghanistan and Pakistan, where both those countries, the tension between those two countries are also escalating with every passing minute. Thank you so much, Borzou Daragahi, for helping us understand the intricacies of this story. At South Era Network, we'll continue to follow and update you with verified information. Thanks so much for watching.